Oh boy, it's getting hairy out here. It seems like whenever Bitcoin goes down, the bears come out in full force. And today I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw some usual FUD for Binance that, you see from time to time. But this one, it smelled a little bit different. And so I dived a little bit further in and saw significantly more Binance and BNB FUD than I usually do on a week-to-week basis. So let's dive in and see if there's anything credible here and if we really are on the verge of FTX 2.0. So this right here is the tweet that I saw from Whalechart. Now I have to say Whalechart is not the most credible account. I don't even follow them, you can see here, because they sometimes have stuff posted that's just not true. You have to fact check a lot of their stuff. But I saw this and I saw Bitcoin crypto exchange Binance limits euro withdrawals via SEPA and cites payment processor issue. That is not a good sign. Anytime any centralized exchange halts withdrawals, that is a huge red flag. Now, luckily we can see here that Binance customer support actually replied directly to this tweet saying that the SEPA deposit and withdrawal service will continue until 25th of September as originally communicated. This is something that got announced back in June. So this is not news. As we approach that date, some users may occasionally be asked for more information as part of our routine compliance checks. So let's dive into what people are saying and see how much credibility there really is here and what the real issue is, at least in terms of the FUD going on right now. Mostly it is related to BNB, which is Binance's main token. You can see BNB right here is number 4 overall based on market cap in cryptocurrencies. It's been in the top 5, the top 10 for as long as I can remember, several years now. This token is primarily used for the Binance ecosystem. It is pretty much a good way to get discounted rates on trading through Binance. So for people like me using Binance US before it kind of had all kinds of problems and is now being sued by the SEC, I used BNB in my account to get lower trading fees for other pairs I was trading, which is a pretty useful thing, to be honest. And there's a lot of other utility they do have within Binance you can use the BNB token for. And so traditionally you would think that BNB is being propped up price-wise because of its utility. However, it seems amongst all of these things we're going to look at, that is not the case according to several people. Marty here is saying BNB is not below 212 because Binance has a loan liquidating at $212 down from $1220 after margins were added in June. Interesting that we had that June date, which was again the time that Binance talked about them putting euro withdrawals on hold until September 25th. Interesting timing there, but probably not related. However, we have seen Binance drop below this 212 price right here. If we go over and click on Binance, it's currently, as of right now, trading at $210. And you can see it was at $208 this morning. And over the last 7 days, it has been at this 212 mark only once, which was yesterday or this morning at 3 a.m. and has come below 212 today and stayed below 212 the entire day. But you can see that if we go back even a month and if we even go back a year, that 212 mark has not been breached. We are now breaching this for the first time in a long time, which is also interesting to note. You can also see here, which we'll look at in a second with another chart, this chart is pretty crazy that it stayed above this mark right here, this 210 or so, this 212 or so mark for the entire time since the bull run. It has not revisited when it went basically parabolic in February to March of 2021. It went from $41 all the way up to a peak of $332 before coming back down to around the 200 range. But since then, it's really just held this line. It's never revisited all the way back down here like a lot of other alts have. So let's get to the rationale here. CZ Binance is in self-preservation mode, selling Bitcoin from this wallet for TUSD and buying BNB to save his exchange chain from a fatal margin call. Now, this does sound possible, right? If they have a loan and their liquidation price is 212, at 212 they could get margin called, and so they'd have to sell another token that's worth enough to cover their BNB loan potentially, and try to back up that price. This could be possible, except we have already seen, like I said before, Binance drop below 212. So, not sure there. US regulators are selling down the US Marshals holding to force liquidation of BNB loan to drive Binance out of the industry. They don't like Binance. We know that the SEC does not like Binance. They've sued Binance for the Binance US and for Binance for all kinds of different things. They're currently in that active investigation right now. And so this is definitely going to bring to light some stuff that we should be aware of. We should know what's going on, especially if you're someone who holds money in Binance. Regardless of whether or not this is actually valid, after this video, I think you're probably going to want to take any funds you have out of Binance just as a precaution. And to be honest, in the first place, you shouldn't have any significant amount of money on a centralized exchange to begin with. If it's not in your cold wallet, not in your self-custody, it is not your crypto. We have learned that time and time again from things crashing like Luna, Celsius, FTX. This is no different with Binance. Now, I personally don't believe this is going to be a problem, and I really hope that it's not. And maybe it's a little bit of hopium or copium at this point, because if Binance falls, it will be catastrophic for the entire industry. It's not going to change the legitimacy of blockchain technology or the legitimacy of Bitcoin or any other coin for that matter, maybe other than BNB, but it's absolutely devastating because Binance is by far the biggest exchange and it's the most liquid exchange currently. So if Binance falls, it's going to be FTX times 2. Not 2.0, it'll be FTX times 2. Mike Alfred is another person who definitely has some hot takes, but you have to listen because these people do know what they're talking about. When CZ stops selling customer Bitcoin in a futile attempt to stay solvent, Bitcoin will go back up. Until then, if you have coins deposited by Binance, you should be ashamed of yourself for funding this racket. Okay, he's saying essentially that Binance is insolvent and they are currently using Bitcoin that they hold, customer-owned Bitcoin, just like FTX, to prop up their own token, which in this case is BNB. FTX, we saw do a similar thing. They had to defend FTT, their token, and they used customer funds, they commingled funds in order to do so to some degree. We don't know how much, I don't know the numbers, but it definitely was an illegal maneuver that ultimately ended up in them collapsing, and you know what happens. This is a bold claim. This is a very important claim because if they are doing any funny business where they're using funds from their exchange that have been deposited to back up BNB to keep the whole thing going, that could be a massive issue, and it's only a matter of time before things go south. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. This is just an accusation. This is just an opinion. I don't know if I agree or disagree with it, but you have to be aware that this is a thing. If you have money on Binance or Binance US, I personally had a bunch of money on Binance US. I was actively trading ETH, trying to sell some. Actually, several months ago, I moved all of it off of Binance. It's all in cold storage now because it shouldn't be anywhere else. So this is a warning again to if you have money out there on any exchange and you're holding a lot of it, I would highly recommend getting it off. As BNB goes, so goes Binance, right? So the claim here is that BNB is the problem. Maybe Binance does have what they say they do in customer funds. Maybe Binance isn't doing super shady things like some people are claiming, but BNB being the main utility token that they use and a way they make a lot of their money probably, it's important that BNB doesn't go under because if it does, that obviously hurts the entire industry and that cascades the whole thing. If all these other coin values go down because BNB suffers, then Binance has a lot less liquidity to work with and the whole house of cards can fold very quickly. BUSD is already dead in the water. If BNB breaks under 200, that is an important number to look at here. We are not there yet, but that could be a number to look at. It could quickly collapse as rats flee the sinking ship. Things can get ugly quickly. Yes, that's what we've been saying. Pull any funds that you have on there just to be safe. Put them in a hardware wallet. Even if you have to put them in a freaking MetaMask wallet with no protection, it's likely better than keeping them here and trusting someone else to be safe with your coins. Now let's dive into some really hardcore accusations. Parrot Capital, I don't know if this dude has got some kind of massive shorts open on the entire industry or on BNB or on what, but he is very much so against what's going on here. He's compared Binance to FTX time and time and time again. I have 4 tweets from him here. There's a reason why CZ can't produce documents showing how the business manages or where the money disappeared to. Okay? This is referring to the documents they are revealing in discovery because, again, the SEC has sued Binance. They are asking for documents to showcase all of these funds, to showcase how the business operates, to showcase whether or not they're commingling funds. All these accusations that are being put up against them, they need to basically prove that they're innocent, to prove that they're not guilty of these certain things. They have been unable to do that so far. There's only 50 documents in discovery, which sounds like a lot, but realistically for a business this size and this complex, there's no way it's just 50 documents. It's a lot more than that. So basically saying that they can't come up with the documents to show that they are doing what they're supposed to be doing, or they're not doing what they're being accused of. This is an older tweet, but Again, he's comparing FTX to Binance. Auditors fled, hundreds of shell companies, saying that BNB is basically the same thing as the FTT token. We all know how that ended. Fake KYC, lies about audits, ignoring red flags, blah, 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 blah. This is a recent tweet. This is yesterday. Binance is an insolvent fraud. Just like FTX, if CZ had the fiat on crypto he's supposed to, his auditors wouldn't have fled and he'd be allowed to have his CFOs, his chief financial officers, see the books. Stay on Binance if you want to say hello to the FTX and Celsius creditors in bankruptcy court. If you were in Celsius or FTX, you know how bad this feels. I have money in Celsius that I lost. FTX, I've had friends that have money that's gone. We have no idea if they'll ever get it back. Maybe a portion of it if we're lucky. I don't hold any crypto there. Not significant amount at least. It's very small. Because it's just not worth it, okay? You understand that Binance is facing criminal charges for money laundering, bank fraud, and terrorist financing. This is in a reply to someone saying that they were in a bullish behavior. Smart money is headed for the exits, just like they were last year prior to frauds blowing up. And he said exactly what everyone else is thinking. I assume you have a position, you assume incorrectly. Neither short nor long any crypto, including USDC. Tens of billions of dollars are flowing out of crypto and back into bank accounts. There's a massive drop in trading volume and customers are fleeing Coin and others. Now, I currently have open call positions on Coin. I do believe it's going to go back up. I'm eating my words right now because I'm deep underwater. It did pump on the BlackRock news, but now it's right back down where it was at around $70. The point here is that he's saying he doesn't have any money, any bags riding on this, but it's hard to believe that. People often come on here and pump their bags, whether it's with FUD or with Hopium. You just have to be aware that they may have an ulterior motive at all times. The reason I'm making this video is simple. I saw this happen before with Celsius, with FTX, even with Terra Luna. There were rumors, there were murmurs, there were chirps on Twitter about this kind of stuff in the weeks leading up to it happening. And there have always been FUD about all different kinds of projects that are out there. But sometimes it just smells a little different. And I'm saying that today, this one smells a little different. There's a bit more here than usual. It seems to be a bit more direct in the accusations. There is an ongoing SEC lawsuit that's going to uncover more and more stuff. There's already some suspect red flags coming out of that discovery. And so you just have to think, what's the worst case scenario? Binance goes under. What happens then? Well, you don't want to be in Binance with your coins, that's for sure, or in any Binance related exchange, holding, whatever. And two, the industry as a whole is going to suffer massively. Now, I'm not going to play this bearishly. I'm not going to sell any of my coins. I'm not going to, short the market. I think that's a way risky endeavor to do, is shorting this market ever. It just seems like a terrible idea because you just never know what's going to happen. But you have to expect that if Binance goes under or if BNB goes, tanks and Binance suffers massively, the market is going to hit a serious decline and you have to be ready to ride that out. Or if you don't feel comfortable with that, you could lower your position here a little bit to feel a little bit more secure about the fact that we may see some downside risk here. Or you could do absolutely nothing and hodl like always, which is exactly what I'll be doing. I'm riding the lows. We are basically, at one point we were double the low, right? 15,000 or so, we were at 30,000, we're double that. I'm prepared to go back to 15,000. Personally, I don't think we're gonna go that low again, but it's totally possible and I'm totally prepared for that to happen. I'm just making this video saying that we felt this before. I'm feeling it again now. Please don't get caught with your pants down like I did. I got caught on Celsius and I got caught on Luna. On Luna, I lost literally my entire holding. I had $80,000 worth of Luna. It went to zero. I literally have zero. I lost all of it. It was terrible. Celsius didn't lose as much. I was able to get some of it out. A lot of people didn't get all of their money out. I do have some in there still, but not nearly as much as I could have. And I'm telling you from a person who has had experience doing this, not worth it. Get your money out, be safe about it.